Light the beam! Light the beam! Light the beam! Light the beam!
Oh, you heard the man light the beam. Give it a little flick while you're there. Welcome into the Sports Cave. I'm coming off my anniversary, so give me 24 hours at least. Welcome into the Sports Cave again here live on Monday night, where we find ourselves. It is finally time to talk some NFL draft. We are only 3 days away from round one kicking off Thursday night. Of course, I am your host, Sam Freas. As always, if you want to get a hold of the program, or at least my portion of the program, you can always find me on X at Biggest Puma, on Instagram, biggest.puma. And for your geriatric millennials and boomers, of course, Facebook as always. I spend way too much time. I ended up watching a video of a Texas indigo snake eating a rattlesnake today, and I thought it was so important that I shared it with like half a dozen people. That's,
you know, your wife told me that you're the guy to go to for finding out which snake is which.
Yeah, unfortunately,
all sorts of things like that.
Unfortunately, when you're raised by an elementary school teacher, you take a liking to.
That's a good snake.
Yeah, exactly. And just being a country boy, born and raised, you learn which snakes are the useful snakes to keep around. But alas, you can always find me on Facebook as well. Just search Sam Freas. As always, Monday nights, we are live here on YouTube. Appreciate all of y'all that have subscribed and interacted. I know Cap is taking the reins of keeping an eye on the chat for us on Monday night. So
chime in. I will keep an update and try to stick to the topics.
Yeah, this one I think tonight's going to be a day where there's going to be some differing opinions. It's the NFL draft. It's an absolute crapshoot. No one knows what the hell they're talking about. It's all projection. It's all extrapolating out a decade worth of a guy's career based off how he worked out in the combine and underwear. So
the only prediction I have is there's going to be moves. I feel like someone's going to make a big move up. They're going to give out 2 first-rounders to move up to grab Shedeur Sanders or grab one of the top DNs.
Yeah, there's going to be names that people target. And that was, of course, our main segment today is going to be the NFL draft. For those of y'all that don't know, obviously, Texas kid, DFW kid, wearing my Stars jersey. Hopefully they don't lay another egg like they did Saturday night.
Old-time hockey?
I'm going to be honest. We're less than an hour from puck drop of game 2.
You're itching?
I'm massively distracted already thinking about the Avs are bringing back their captain, Landeskog. He's back from injured. The Stars are still injured. No one's back. Yeah.
His first game back.
So, of course, we're going to talk a lot of NFL draft in the main segment. But, as always, Monday nights, I'm joined by the captain himself, Cap.
Yay. I'm in.
And naturally, the guy that is actually running things here, the guy that is actually in charge of the operation, LG.
The man behind the curtain.
From a undisclosed location.
Hello.
Hey, there it is.
Hey, look
it's
at
always a crapshoot. I know I say it every time, but I just kind of sit here and.
If he doesn't have his hat on, we ain't going to see him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's only fair. But since we are all back together.
He is matching. Looking very dapper there, LG. Look at that.
Thanks. Yeah,
Look at that.
I guess.
What kind of hat is that we got going on?
Oh, don't tell me it's
this
an
would
Eagles
be
hat.
this would be a heavy metal fitness hat. Hat. Shout out to Tim
Tim.
Ingram and Heavy Metal Fitness over there off Northwest Military.
They pick up heavy stuff and put them down, man.
They're actually a bunch of their members are about to go to strongman competition in Sacramento on May 14th.
He sponsored the Latino Mexico, the Latino,
the strongest Mexican in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
He works out with Timmy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like we just got our first unpaid plug on the program.
There you go.
Man.
Shout out.
Always support heavy metal.
As always, since we are back together in the room, we got to start with a little bit of a weekend recap because it has been a minute since we've all been together. It actually not as long because part of my weekend recap, obviously, thank you to everybody that reached out and said happy anniversary. I'm in the odd position of
still have that aura around you.
Well, I'm still in the afterglow. Yeah, no, it's
a little morning delight.
Spectacular. I'm in that position where I'm never, ever going to be the guy that puts the post out at 9 a.m. like, this was the best thing that ever happened to me. My life changed forever, and I owe it all. I'm never going to be that guy.
I say that. I would say that in person.
And I'm never.
Why do I have to put it on Facebook? Why? It's not for us. Once again, the wedding's not for us. The posts aren't for us. It's for significant others. But I think
all I can say, find you a girl that will fall asleep on your anniversary night watching Australian League football. That's all I could say. So
Australian League football.
She obviously knows.
And we're talking about football.
It's like rugby / American football. It's spectacular. It's one of the greatest sports in the world.
So they still tackle each other?
Oh, dude, it's way more violent than American football. If anyone's looking to add another sport to their docket.
It's like less pads, no helmet.
Oh, no pads. So all of these, like Michael Dickerson, the Seahawks kicker, he was an Aussie League football player. Yeah. There's a bunch of punters and guys that have come over now. Even some guys that are starting to.
So is this like basically Australian rugby? Because I know there's two different rugbies, and Australia has their own rugby. Do they call that Australian football?
So no, they still play rugby.
So that
as the rest of the world does, but then they have their own
version of rugby,
of football. We'd lose the whole show if I tried to. Because even after years of watching it,
you're still learning the rules.
I think I know what I at least know how they score points. So we're at least
we go from 6 to 8.
That's correct. Something like that. So as I said yesterday, of course, was our anniversary, and I know. There's a thin balance between being the guy that puts that post out at 9 a.m. and being the guy that just treats it like any other lazy Sunday afternoon. So I feel like I did my best to find the Goldilocks zone there between the two. You didn't see the post, but I might have reposted something she put out, so I feel like I get half credit for that.
But did you just like her post?
Hell, I didn't even. Now that you say that, I don't even think I liked it. I think I just did it's a retweet or that's a repost or restory, whatever the hell it is. But the odd.
Oh, Tammy, Lawrence LG will get you on that to figure out how to be a member. So.
Oh yeah, we're still putting some of those details together. What we really need is just subscriptions.
Yeah.
If you're on the page,
cost you nothing.
Or if you're listening to the audio version of this after the fact, go to YouTube and
mash that button.
Sports Cave Live. Give us a subscription. And I do hear LG might have us up and running on some coffee-related purchases.
Oh, buy me a coffee.
Are we
doing a coffee?
Yeah, that's correct. We are live on buymeacoffee.com/sportscavelive.
Ooh.
And you can throw a tip in there if you want.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. As I feel like now I'll go back to, what are we in? This is week 4 now or 3?
This is 4.
This is 4. Mm-hmm. Going back to the first week of us doing it, I described it as it's like a restaurant opening.
Yeah.
We did the friends and family soft opening. Now we're kind of getting to the stress test where we let some of the public come in and we're figuring things out, making sure all of our operations are.
I still got to make a Twitch account. A Twitch account, an X account. Yeah. I figure out how to use Instagram. I don't even know how to
figure it out, man. And to Tammy and Rob's question about the members, we need to hit 500 subscribers. And then we can unlock members for this channel.
There it is.
That's when we get super chats. So please get us to 500.
Until we get to that 500, it feels like we are still in soft
I'm willing to
opening
do
territory.
something crazy. I have friends who have a waxing salon. We have.
Nobody wants to see that.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to see that.
He was talking about what apps you needed to get. I thought you were going to say you're going to throw out your Grindr profile or something.
Yeah.
How crazy are you getting for 500?
Oh my God!
There's anything wrong with that.
Of course
none's
not.
wrong with that.
No, so with an anniversary on Easter Sunday, there's kind of some weirdness there. Like nothing's open.
It was another holiday.
There's nowhere to go. So again, as someone who, I don't know, wanted to maybe watch a little final round, see if JT could get his first win in almost 3 years, maybe watch some NBA basketball. It was...
Oh, I made my rounds. I was like, don't kill my vibe. This is my day. I was like, this is my day. I was like, I don't want to hear your drama. I'm just sitting here smiling in my own zone.
No, it's set up nicely for me because I could use the excuse of, so the way I worked it, you'll notice we didn't do any audio podcast last week because I ended up we did some of our anniversary celebrating last week during the week.
Oh, yeah.
Since we knew everything was going to be closed Sunday. So
people are going to be looking for eggs. I heard there was...
Also, that way I could watch playoff basketball and hockey all weekend. So let's get the anniversary details out of the way on Thursday.
And all the sweetness, the romantic walk down the river walk. Did you do that?
What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
No, that's a big no. That's a big no. But what I did do was talking about knocking some of the anniversary out early. Thursday night, when we were out on the town, we had dinner and then ended up seeing what you were up to, ended up rolling up to a bar, had a drink with you for a while. And this brings me to, this was one of those situations that I hadn't found myself in a while, but it was a real moment of a true decision had to be made
Your
on the spot.
manhood got tested, dude.
Big time. But you say manhood got tested. I would counter, I'm not sure. It was a lose-lose situation either way.
Oh, no, there's a winner.
No, okay, there was.
There's a winner.
Okay,
there's a winner. There's a definite winner.
Thursday, we're out at the bar, me, the roommate, Cap, just hanging out. And I pop outside to burn a heater. So I'm outside smoking, right? Y'all are still inside. While I'm out there, random girl at the bar walks up, not like oh, hey, I smoke those too, or like, can I bum a cigarette? No kind of introduction, nothing. Just first question out of the gate. Hey, you want to arm wrestle me? And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what? I mean,
context. She's a good friend of mine. And she saw that you were with me, so she felt a little more comfortable. And she was also
checks out.
Very inebriated and just going through a recent breakup. So she
don't give too much of her details.
She felt like feats of strength was her like area of expertise. So she wanted to do some feats of strength with you.
She really wanted to do some feats of strength because I said no, and immediately I'm like, no, no.
And I called you all sorts of P's.
I got nothing. Like I'm not
V's.
So if by chance if I lose, it looks terrible. I didn't think I would.
That would be hilarious.
I wasn't too worried, but there's still rotator cuff just snaps or something. It goes bad, and then she just slams my arm down. Like I could see all of the outcomes playing out.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I just slam her down and tear her rotator cuff, then I'm the bad guy there.
Around and find out, man.
See, it felt like an honest no-win situation. So
there's a clear winner.
I politely declined while the rest of the guys outside in the smoking section gave me hell. And so then I went inside thinking I would get some moral support from my loving wife and my coworker here, my friend / coworker, and it was more coworker than it was friend.
I was like, why don't you do it? I was like, lay her out.
For all the reasons I just explained to you. And so what happens 30 seconds after I walk back inside, she comes right up
and starts razzing you.
Challenges you to an arm wrestling match.
She started making fun of you first.
Well, naturally.
And she looks at me and she's like, well, I'll arm wrestle you. And I was like, done.
And it was like, done. It was done in
I was like, right
3
here.
seconds.
But then she started going, oh, we have to get in a good position. I'm like, I don't care what position you want in. I was like, there's no way here. And shout out to my dad if he's listening. He has no internet. He says he's watching. He used to wear my arm out since I was 12 years old, going up to Memphis. And lo and behold, like I think he was like one of those arm wrestling people at the bar that would sit there and get free drinks.
Yeah,
and
he's just ringing people.
Doing the hustler on them and whatnot.
Not a bad bit.
So I learned a lot of techniques and arm angles and, making sure you get the risk involved. And, yeah, she wasn't going to win.
What was the old, what was it? Was it a Seagal movie or
No,
Van Damme?
Nah,
which one?
Sweet Stallone.
Oh, that's Stallone. Okay.
Over
okay.
the top.
Yeah, my hat was backwards. I stay switched in. I was like, I'm switched in. It's like a switch. I'm going for that semi.
Yeah, you didn't hesitate. You didn't hesitate to absolutely destroy her, which then again only made me look worse at that point. So I stand by my decision. I still think I made the right decision.
A second, and I'm like, get the F out of here.
Yeah, there was no fight put up. But outside of that, it was a lot of, like I said, it was a lot of NBA and NHL playoffs. Yeah. Obviously, I watched Stars.
Good thing the Hawks lost.
Yeah.
We got our second draft pick.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. Spurs ended up, I guess, going all the way back to the play-in. Memphis won the right to get embarrassed by Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
What really...
He wasn't pulling out no guns on that court.
The storyline that night, though, was the excellent camera work of the ESPN guy as Anthony Davis is hobbling off the court. They immediately cut the camera to Nico, who's side-eyeing, looking at AD hobbling off.
Oh, did you hear what Nico put out?
Yeah.
He underestimated the fans' reaction and love for Luka.
Yeah, I've got some Nico talk for the lightning round at the end because
you underestimated like probably the second biggest player in the NBA that Dallas, they don't have much to look forward to. Cowboys,
no.
Nobody watches hockey.
No, there's no.
They got Luka.
Every time they roll Nico out to do anything in front of the media or camera, it just makes the whole situation worse. So I got some thoughts for that at the end. I've been enjoying the little lightning round we've been doing at the end of this thing. But I mentioned, watched Stars Saturday night, had a great Rangers series, actually. Rangers-Dodgers, some of the best pitching in all of baseball going up against each other. You had DeGrom getting beat Friday night in the Battle of the Aces with Yamamoto. And then,
so is Yamamoto the ace over Ohtani? Are we calling him the ace?
Until Ohtani is actually...
He's not pitching yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay, so...
And Ohtani was actually... He missed Friday. I felt so bad. So one of my good buddies here in town runs a coffee shop in our neighborhood. He's massive, huge Dodgers fan. He bought these tickets at the beginning of the year.
Waiting to see that, Japanese robot.
Bought Saturday afternoon tickets, thought he's driving up from San Antonio. It was like a 3:30 game, Saturday. So there was no rush getting up there. He didn't have to leave at the crack of dawn or anything. And then, of course, Ohtani misses Friday and Saturday night because his wife had, or girlfriend or wife had their first kid.
Oh, yo.
But to make it even worse, he was back in the lineup on Sunday. So my buddy goes to the Saturday game.
It was a side chick.
No, I think it was. It feels like.
I mean, can they have side chicks in Japan?
Oh, I think that is that not where the word concubine might actually date back to? Possibly. Don't test me on my world history. That probably not even close to right. But, yeah, he missed. He drove up for the game, ends up missing out on Ohtani, but also missing out on the Adolis Garcia walk-off home run Saturday afternoon that spared the Rangers from being swept. So
2-1. So Dodgers favor?
Yeah. Dodgers took the series 2 out of 3. And the Rangers get to head to their first minor league stadium experience now. They're playing out in Sacramento next. I know.
Sacramento. Oh, so you got the A's.
LG's Sacramento/Vegas A's coming up.
Still one of my favorite mascots, the big elephant.
Yeah, going back to the Philadelphia A's years. Yeah. But I mentioned the minor league stadium. I know that's something you got some experience with this weekend as a Yankee fan.
God. How are you going to rob the best hitter in baseball right now? Not to mention, all right, LG, put a minute on the clock.
Oh, there we go.
Put a minute on. All right, we got the best hitter in baseball. He has a chance to do something no one has done since Ty Cobb, which is average 400 for the year. Is it Ty Cobb or Ted Williams? Ted Williams, my bad. Ted Williams, and he mashes a home run. And
it's a little early to be talking about batting 400,
he mashed a home run. It's a little early, but he's doing it. Mashed a home run. They did a replay on it. Obviously, it's a home run. They call it a foul ball because they don't bring in the right size foul poles because God forbid they have 4 months preparation to go. Janky. And they're playing in our spring training field, but now speaking of someone on maternity leave, Grisham, who's actually mashing, who's our backup utility outfielder, he's mashing. Goldie's doing good. We took 3 out of 4 out of Tampa Bay. We should have swept the 4, but our closer situation is gone. When we came, we did whatever. And I'm gone.
Oh, that's a shame. It felt like you were just rounding into.
I had so much more.
Giving us some real gold. Well, there's always
I'm
next week.
I'm gonna get a buzzer so I can get another minute.
You know, I will. Mentioning the
later in the year.
Mentioning the AL East, dude. The Orioles team is.
Oh, they got routed.
24-2.
They got routed.
24-2, and I think I saw their team ERA is like over 6.5.
Yeah.
Or it's right at 6.
Their pitching 6.5. Is not there.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Did they start throwing in utility players as pitchers?
At that point, I would
wonder
assume,
what inning they started.
I would assume they had to have because you give up 24 runs.
That's always fun because they throw like a 54-mile-an-hour curveball that just sits there and just.
Well, you remember last year that was when Ohtani was trying to get, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And they play again, was it? Florida. It was Miami.
Yeah.
They were playing the Marlins, and they end up putting in an outfielder to pitch, and he just crushed it. So
MLB pisses me off.
I always think back to.
Giving freaking Pete Rose the Hall of Fame nod now after he died. Man, MLB.
Oh, they're not going to. I mean, that's still to be decided. They're
kick him in the nuts sometimes.
When the Rangers were terrible, there was one year, I think it was Scott Sheldon, that ended up playing every position in the same game. Except, I think the only thing he didn't do was catch. I think he played everything but catcher. He played every position and then ended up pitching in the same game because they were so awful.
Shout out to my Yankee brethren. Lonnie's in the room. What's up?
Oh, man, we can't be surrounded by Yankees fans, LG.
We're out here.
We're out here. What happened in the world of LG? Are we back in the wild DJing again? Or
oh, yeah.
Are we back to quiet hermit life?
The watering hole.
Well, I did DJ on Thursday night at the watering hole.
Nice.
On Fred Road in the Med Center.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go? Tell us
it
something.
went good. Yeah, it's
Did you get the classic? I want 4 kombuchas.
Nah. I got requested to play nothing but boom bap 90s hip hop. So
hey,
I was
nothing
very
wrong with
happy.
that. Yeah, that's right up your alley.
No one came at you with some Drake or nothing like that.
No.
Oh,
I don't play Drake anyway.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't.
No.
The only Drake that still crosses my plate is when he's still known as Drizzy Drake on like Dedication 3 mixtape. Like when he had just joined up with Wayne on Young Money. In fact, There was I can't remember which song it was that crossed that played the other day, and it, like both the roommate and I were listening to it, and I was like, man, I think this is like I kind of forgot this is what Drake sounded like when he first joined up with all
before
of
his ghostwriters really started taking over.
Yeah, that's correct. Exactly. Are you? Let's see. That was Thursday night. Are we? Do we have any update on the potential Friday night meetups as you are spinning at an undisclosed location?
Yeah, we can make something happen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again,
be downtown in the
Oh, you're talking about your
Broadway
favorite
area.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly. I'm talking about where I will be
I was like,
watching
I'm
this.
not even informed in this.
Where I'll be watching the Stars game too after we wrap up here.
I'll
later
let you
on.
know. I'll see if I can make that happen this Friday.
Well, one more thing. Speaking of in the neighborhood, I see it every year, and I know every year nothing happens. It's perfectly fine, but seeing. I'm right by the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
Right by the parking lot where the Fiesta Carnival is held.
Oh, Thursday.
Seeing all of those vehicles pile in, and they were building the massive, like, looping roller coaster thing at midnight 1 a.m. last night as we were driving through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, again, they do it every year.
So is it like Mardi Gras style vehicles?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's like the same.
You can tell how many times I've been to Fiesta.
It's like the same carnival that is at the, Victoria Expo Hall in the parking lot once a year. It's just the traveling carnival circuit. There's nothing special about it. But every time I watch them build that thing, I just think,
do you just sit there and crack? Do you just sit there and crack a beer and just be like, you need a 4 gauge on that one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like my grandpa just watching me, like, nah, that ain't gonna hold. That ain't gonna work.
You need a pair of vice grips? I got a pair in the garage if you need some.
No, I always hesitate to tempt the carnies with an open container because
throw them a Keystone.
Yeah, I don't think it would be rejected. I don't think it would be rejected. Well,
the carnies.
Another weekend in the books. We have been counting down now for 4 weeks towards this NFL draft. We are only 3 days away now. Coming up, first round Thursday, and then what do they do? Rounds 2 and 3 Friday, and then 4 through 7, the rest on Saturday. Obviously, this is going to be our main segment, and we're going to actually talk about the NFL draft. But I'm just not, like, having the first round separated makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the Friday night, second and third round picks.
Well, how many quality players do we know that have gone second and third round?
The second round, completely agree. It feels anything
There's still
like
moves to be made.
Third through fifth round, every team has a different grade. A guy that's taken midway through the third round, some team has a fifth round grade on him.
Fred Warner was taken in the fifth round.
Dak Prescott was taken in the fourth.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Which one?
Brock Purdy.
List random.
Nathaniel Purdy.
Well, those are the ones that are like, that's way more interesting to me than who gets taken in the fifth round.
But those got to play out. That takes all year.
I just the way in the NBA does it now too, where they stretch out their draft. There's a part of me that misses having like the 8 hours all day on Saturday of the NFL draft where, by Mel Kiper's losing his mind by hour 5 and he's still,
how is he not picked up? This guy is still available.
And he's talking about some guy that's about to go as the last pick in the fourth round. And he's so passionate about it. No, round 1 comes down Thursday night. And so you got to talk not just about, of course, going to talk about how it relates to the Cowboys. And it just so works out with you being a Niners fan.
Yeah, we pick right before you.
Exactly. So I want to pick your brain.
Unless we move up.
And you mentioned that. I got that on the notes too, because it might be the Cowboys moving up, knowing Jerry wanting to make a splash. He hasn't done anything stupid in a while.
I think he wants the running back.
It's what worries me. We're gonna talk about that. But specifically with you being a
Last
Niners
time he
fan.
did it was Zeke.
Look, and it worked out until you gave him the contract.
Yeah, until you gave him the contract early.
The argument, if Genty is what Zeke was, there's still some value, some argument to be made of taking him that early if you're just going to run the wheels off over the 5 years, 6 years, 5th year rookie deal, maybe a year or two of the franchise tag. So if you're getting a guy for 7 years, that ends up being as good as Zeke was in his first 7 years. I don't mind that. It wouldn't be my decision. It wouldn't be what I would do.
I mean, he could be the next McCaffrey. You never know. So, I mean, is there a need? Yes. Have they filled that need with anybody? No. I mean, didn't they have old? They drafted someone old, or they picked up someone older.
For running back, the Miles Sanders. They're 1-year deals. It was Miles Sanders and then Javonte Williams, I think, from Broncos.
I was always hype on Javonte. I always picked him up thinking I was like, the Broncos run the ball.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good place for him, a good system.
Fantasy football, which later in the year, I am a fantasy guru. Thank you. I got over a dozen trophies on the wall.
Watch out, folks.
And, of course, I'm going to catch so much heat from my friends. But my league, I have the only dynasty 3 out of 4 years. So I'm always in it. They hate me. It's fine. I appreciate the hate. But that's later in the year. We will have fantasy advice. Sweet Lonnie knows about it.
Yeah, well, that'll be once your Yankees minute ends, it'll be your fantasy football minute. Because that's about all I can take of fantasy football talk is a minute at a time. I haven't played fantasy in
you find some glory holes
decade,
like Chris
talking
about.
Glory hole.
Just like Jerry. No, I think we'll start with the Cowboys, and then I'll get your thoughts on the Niners to kind of see, and then we'll just talk some generic NFL draft thoughts, because it feels like this year there's really not that stud 1-1 guy. Like Cam Ward's going to go 1-1, but more because he's the best quarterback, not necessarily a quarterback that you would normally think of as a 1-1 guy. You mentioned the amount of differing opinions on the top 10 guys.
Well, you got Cam Ward, as they called out, someone said on his Fortnite profile, was talking about how Trey Burks was a top 4 receiver, how Tajay Spears and all, he was just talking about Titans this, Titans that, Titans. It's pretty locked in.
Yeah, I think
it's locked in.
Yeah, that's the pick. But after that, I think Travis Hunter probably goes 2.
Yeah.
And then Abdul Carter 3. Some order.
Giants are 3rd.
Yeah.
I got them getting Shedeur.
Okay, that would be the other, and then it's a reach for a quarterback. But point being, I think
Jameis probably not going to make the final.
No, it's not going to be Jameis or Russ. If it is,
it's going to be Russ in the beginning, but then that gives time for Shedeur.
But that's a year, 2 years tops.
Yeah.
Anyway, planning for the future with them. But point being, I think the top 10, there's going to be a surprise team that trades up. There's going to be a team that reaches for Shedeur early, probably earlier than normal. And then every year, even when, there might not be a quarterback projected among the top 20, it always seems like a third, like last year it was J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Always seems like a third guy ends up sliding into that back part of the top 10 too. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but
tell me if you've noticed
someone might fall in love with Jalen Milroe.
The second quarterback taken has always been like almost a fantasy gold. I know that just from fantasy wise, but is always put up rookie of the year numbers.
Oh well, ask Texans fans. Would you rather have Bryce Young or CJ Stroud?
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of a curse against Cam Ward, but Shedeur Sanders. If I'm the second quarterback, man, they've been having some good luck with those lately. So
I'm not exactly sure. We're going to talk generic draft, but the benefit for the Cowboys is if someone falls in love, if the Giants fall in love with Shedeur, or if someone else falls in love with Milroe or maybe maybe Jackson Dart. I could possibly see him climbing up there as well. But there's going to be hopefully multiple, at least 2 picks in the top 10 that make the collective audience kind of gasp at the reach. Or
well, I mean, you gotta look the top.
Which is going to benefit the Cowboys because that means someone's going to be there at 12 that you might not have suspected.
Well, you got Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Those are going to go within the top 5, I believe. Then you got Jackson Dart, Tyler Schroe. That's
the
Ole
former
Miss and
Oregon
Louisville.
Tech, Louisville kid. Yeah, Tyler
And you got
Schroe.
the Alabama kid, Jalen Monroe, but he's probably going to go second or third round.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I believe Dart's going to be the reach.
Yeah, it's either going to be Dart or Milroe, I bet. But hopefully that reach happens before pick 12. Or maybe the reach is pick 12 and it's the Cowboys trading back out of that spot if someone is really thirsty for a quarterback and they can pick up a extra first-round pick in next year's draft.
So what's the Cowboys' main, even besides pretty much every defender?
That's the thing.
I was like, what's their main need?
See,
you think defensive line because Dex left?
This is what scares me. The position they've been connected to the most in the mock drafts has been wide receiver. But
Lonnie wants McMillan. He's a diehard.
Well,
Cowboy
you
fan.
got McMillan, you got Golden, you got a few right there that are being mocked to the Cowboys. But the thing that scares me, you ask where the needs are. I think. All right, I'm dying. I think defensive line and cornerback are both way bigger needs than wide receiver. If you watch, I mean, obviously, all we did last year was talk about how historically bad that Cowboys defense was.
Yeah.
And then
Couldn't stop the run.
DeMarcus Lawrence leaves the organization, goes to Seattle. Granted, how many more years does he have at his peak? Or he's past his peak, but how many more years does he have as an above-average defensive lineman? They did re-sign Osa Odigizua, so you're keeping
that's guard.
Your main interior guy.
That's a defensive tackle.
That's a tackle, yeah. But he's not a run-stopping tackle. He's more of a pass-rushing tackle. He's an undersized, fat speed guy.
Yeah, push the pocket back.
Yeah, so you don't really, because that was the thing about DeMarcus Lawrence. He was a great run-stopping defensive lineman.
So you almost need a fast linebacker. I mean, the best thing, Niners were best run stoppers in the league, and it is because we had the best linebacking crew with Alzir Shazier, I'm butchering his name, Fred Warner, and the person that just
Greenlaw
broke my heart, man. Greenlaw went to Broncos. Broncos going to go have a hell of a defense. They got 2 of our guys.
I mean, it feels like
and they were good last year. They were ball hawking.
Feels like a good strategy just to poach y'all's peripheral guys on defense at least. But you asked, I mean, if I was ranking the order, I would say interior defensive line, cornerback, then wide receiver. And I hope in some order, those are the first 3 picks in the draft, the first 3 picks they make.
And I feel like this is not a deep wide receiver class. I feel like last year we had a deep wide receiver class, but this year, I mean, there's some good ones. So you got the top one out of Arizona, McMillan. That's, of course, what Lonnie wants. I hear you, Lonnie.
And he's a workout warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks great. He looks the part. He looks like a future NFL number 1 receiver.
He's got the physique. You got Golden out of UT. You got Higgins out of Iowa State.
Not as sold on Golden. The Golden rise is.
I just don't see any game changers. I don't see any LSU players on there.
I'll tell you what. I don't see any receiver that I would be comfortable taking in the 12th spot.
Nah.
Especially because here's the alternative. I mean, you just look at some of the guys that might, if you get lucky and someone falls in love with a third quarterback before you, someone, you're going to have some names that slide down
pushes the pile down.
Right.
Yeah.
And the name to me that I would be hoping is still there is the Texas cornerback Barron, the Thorpe Award winner. He looked.
Now that's deep. Cornerbacks are deep in this draft, I believe.
And you look at what the Cowboys have. it doesn't sound like a massive loss, but losing Jordan Lewis was huge. Jordan Lewis was, if not the best, a top 3 slot corner last year. Mm-hmm. Barron can play anywhere day one. And then when you add in the fact that, Trayvon Diggs is returning from another knee injury.
Is he going to be the same?
Is he going to be the same? And at what point is he even going to be ready?
He jumped routes. He's a route jumper.
And that's why you
need a safety. Like if you're gonna have Trayvon Diggs and give him a contract, you need to have a safety to sit there and every time he jumps a route, that guy's not going to the house.
Yeah, you have some protection on over top. I just think if they end up taking one of the running backs, it really worries me what would be there available in the second and third round, or one of the wide receivers. I mean, what would be there available in the second or third round?
I think you can find
on the defensive side of the ball, because I think right now, obviously, they don't have a number 2 wide receiver on the roster. I mean, Jalen Tolbert was starting to show some signs of emergence, but never.
He's undersized,
and you're not nothing you saw last year is gonna make you comfortable turning the number 2 position over to him day one. Obviously, if CD is getting doubled and you don't have anybody that can make the defense pay on the other side, you're not going to win a whole lot of football games, especially with an immobile Dak and the recently engaged Jake Ferguson.
Oh, Ferguson.
Yeah,
Ferguson actually
engaged.
Was pretty decent.
Well, and a former top draft pick, the kid from Michigan, Schoonmaker. Yeah, exactly. We got to stop drafting dudes from Michigan, unless that Mason Graham falls, then that might be your defensive tackle if they can get it done. But I think
that's something that the Niners are looking for. We got rid of Kinlaw.
He's not going past y'all.
We got rid of the Eagles guy that we spent so much money on. We let him go, and we're still reeling from letting our all-pro tackle go 3 years ago that we had the first Super Bowl run with, the first couple Super Bowl runs. Where did he go? DeForest Buckner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like we're still reeling from that. So I think that is a pick that we might move up because I think we're looking for him. I think we're looking for the Michigan kid, tackle, Graham. If not, I mean, I think the tackles are deep in this round, too. You got Derek Harmon out of Oregon, Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, another Michigan cat, Kenneth Grant. They're projecting him at 4. So I think that I don't see – how can you have 2 Michigan tackles? Did they just run like a 3-4? They ran a 3-4. They had 2 of with 2 tackles and 2
Well, then
edges.
if you're 2 tackles, you're going 4-3.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 4 on the line.
Look, I never like to be this way, but the way the Cowboys have been burned by drafting Michigan guys with Taco and Mozzie Smith.
You just don't want anything
Look,
to do
I
with
understand on paper Graham is so much better than either one of them was coming out, but
yeah,
there's some PTSD still there with just seeing a Michigan guy on the board if the Cowboys.
What up with the Michigan guy going to the Cowboys?
Not to mention Schoonmaker.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Now, I think I'm hoping that one of these either. Yeah, I don't think Graham's going to fall that far. That's not realistic. I think Barron, the cornerback from Texas, is realistically there. Maybe by some chance, Jalen Walker, the kid from Georgia, falls, or the A&M kid, Shamar Stewart. Between those 3 guys, if you could get one of them with that 12th pick, I would feel much better about taking a wide receiver, or much better about that than taking either Golden or McMillan, either one of the wide receivers.
They've done it before. Dallas has switched with the Niners before because every need that you need right now is kind of what we need. We need a cornerback too.
Well, Dallas.
We need
the whole reason they
tackle. We need an edge.
The whole way they got Micah was the pick swap with the Eagles.
Yeah.
So the NFL's weird like that. There's no rivalry if the trade is right.
Yeah.
If the value's there, a team will pull the trigger. I don't think there's going to be any kind of. It does. The fact that y'all are directly the team right in front of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan, it's a nice little sharp stick for us fans, but John Lynch and Kyle, they're not petty like that. They about that business.
Yeah, they're about winning football
They're about that
games.
business. And the Niners have 11 picks this season, the most they've had in a decade.
It's a good way to jumpstart the rebuild, but we have get a lot of fresh.
That's what I'm thinking. We might be jumping up is because we
use some of
give
that
you those
ammunition.
4th, 5th, 6th rounds, and just basically like, look at all this gold we found, and all the thing. Like, they're out there, and maybe we give them a little hint.
Who's the guy that you've seen the most attached to the Niners if they stay at 11? Like, just looking at mock drafts
right now. We were going after the offensive tackle out of out of Texas. That was the main
Kelvin Banks.
Yeah. And then we were looking at
I've seen his name all over. I've seen some places have him potentially
he's
8,
dropped.
9. I've seen other people have him closer to 20.
Yeah,
if not back end of the.
Yeah, they got him. That's defense. I'm on defensive tackle. Offensive tackle. Yeah, they have him. They have him second now. I seen him at the 7th best
available tackles.
Yeah, on tackles, the rank as ESPN ranks them. They have him second. So we got to jump up. But I mean, this is you got Cameron Williams, another offensive tackle. He's ranked 8th out of the offensive tackles. I mean, that's out of Texas, but I think we're gonna make some moves. I think we're gonna grab 2 first. I think we're gonna jump another pick into the first round. We're gonna shore up both lines. We're gonna get an offensive tackle, and then we're gonna get an edge or a defensive tackle. That's
I would love it if y'all went the offensive tackle first round.
Yeah,
because just looking at the Cowboys' needs, they could certainly use help on the offensive line, but
Zach Martin retired, right?
Martin's out. Last year, Tyler Guyton didn't look that great. He looked completely unpolished. He looked undisciplined, unpolished, and looked completely out of place trying to play left tackle after he had played right tackle at Oklahoma. What worries me the most, I mentioned it earlier, Jerry hasn't done one of those draft day moments to steal the spotlight or to steal the attention.
I feel he's itching. He's itching.
I kind of do too.
He's let Steven do a lot of the work right now. He is itching to get that Jerry. Oh, we found ourselves some gold right here. We got us some gold.
Here we go.
It feels like it's always a battle between Jerry wanting to draft someone that will immediately sell jerseys and Will McClay and Steven to a lesser degree wanting to draft the best football player. Because just looking at the top 15 guys available, this is a draft where I think your best option in the first round, at least, is not targeting a position, but targeting best available.
Yeah.
Especially when the Cowboys didn't use free agency to fill any holes. They made a couple trades, but no one that immediately.
Well, there's not really too many splashy names outside of the QBs,
really outside of the top.
Genty.
I mean, you take the quarterbacks away. Take Cam Ward, Shador away. The only guys I feel really, really certain are going to be stud NFL players.
McMillan.
I wouldn't even say that. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. After that, you could convince me any of these guys are either bust or 10-year starters. I mean, it feels like a draft where
you feel like a lot of special teamers are going to be drafted.
I think there's going to be some special teamers drafted in the second round. Guys that end up playing on 5 teams over the next 3 years because teams are just so far off on their evaluations. It's one of those NFL drafts where just look at the mock drafts. I mean, every mock draft, there's not a whole lot of consensus.
Jerry can't pick his own ass. That's true.
Well, I mean,
he pays someone to do that for him.
It's good to be the king. I just think with the more I read fairly trusted sources and their predictions and expectations, it feels like no one knows what the hell is going to happen Thursday night. Outside of the top three. I think Ward, Hunter, Carter are your top three picks.
I think it's going to be wild. I think there's going to be a lot of moves. That's why I'm saying it's the quiet before the storm.
Yeah.
It's like we've heard all the speculations. We've heard everybody needs this, everybody needs that. There's not a lot of, I think it's a lot of people prepping their lines. That's why I say the offensive line, the defensive line, they're going to get a lot of movement in this draft because people are shoring up because they know that's the way to go. I mean, look at the Eagles. They got to stop the tush push somehow.
Well,
besides NFL making it illegal.
When we get to the lightning round, we're going to talk about Mike Leach's idea for his own tush push.
Yeah, you like that little
the
meme.
The great Mike Leach, God rest his soul.
Y'all got Deuce Vaughn.
Could I interest you, if you're a Cowboy fan, I know that's hard for you to think about, if somehow the Penn State tight end slides and is available at 12. So you're not getting a receiver, but you're getting the best receiving tight end, a position that Dak relies on.
Look at Brock Bowers this year.
I mean, you have Jake Ferguson, who's above average, serviceable, solid player. Schoonmaker looks like you whiffed on him. I guess the jury's still out. But I think I could be talked into Tyler Warren over either one of the running backs except Genty. If they,
but you're still leaving that hole in the second your second wide receiver.
But you might be getting,
but you're trying to fill it like the slot with the tight end.
You might be getting the best available player still on the board, and I think that's what the Cowboys are going to have to. They have to fill their needs because they didn't in free agency, but they can't be too attached to the position and reach on somebody because, who's the Amari Hampton, the North Carolina running back?
Yeah,
Cowboys need a running back. I want them to see him do it in the third round earliest.
I have this strange,
but I could see them doing that too.
I have this strange feeling that they are looking a year ahead, and they're going to tank. They're not. They're going to look for a replacement for Dak.
Look for a replacement from Schottenheimer after only 1 year.
Yeah, like this guy, it's a feeling. Like I have this strange feeling that, sorry, Cowboy fans, this isn't. Well, it's never going to be your year, but this is not your year.
Look, statistical probability says it has to be our year. One of these years,
1 out of 50. We gotta win it all. No, man, you guys know.
Eventually,
Washington's coming up. They got their new
the
weapon,
Debo. The rest of the NFC looks. It's life is not good.
Cowboys, if they're smart, they're looking a year or two ahead.
I think if they start looking a year or two ahead, they're going to end up looking 3 years ahead every year. It's not.
Well, they got to get that franchise QB, and we all know.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Because
Dakota ain't it.
Well, at the end of the day, you're attached to him at least for the next 3 years, and then probably at least a year or two more after that.
You got some people. You got Robert up here hype on your tight end talk.
I don't know. I just feel it feels again. He's a guy.
He's no Brock Bowers. He's like
he might be better.
Get the man.
If I
could throw something at you.
Again,
you think he's better than Brock Bowers?
No, but he might be. It's the NFL draft.
Oh my God, he might. Now this is when you just get stupefied from Cowboy talk because hey, Dakota, they might win the championship with Dakota. He might be better than Brock Bowers. No, Brock Bowers is a generational.
I don't disagree, but at the same time,
and we knew that going into the draft.
At the same time, possibly the greatest tight end ever drafted was a third-round pick. So it's the NFL draft. We don't know. We really don't know. And
is he the greatest, or does he just have the greatest one throwing it to him? And I still put that on TG, my man TG, Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, well, if you're going to go anybody, it's Kellen Winslow, the original Kellen Winslow.
The dad.
Yeah.
Man, his son went.
Not Junior, yeah. But, hey, Okay.
He liked him some old people.
But you know who? Yeah, that's unfortunate all the way around. Do you remember how much hype there was about him coming out of college?
Junior? Yeah.
And if you just looked at it, you would say this guy is absolutely
second generation.
Exactly.
He looks phenomenal.
There are no questions he's going to be. Give him the gold jacket as soon as he signs the rookie contract.
Where did he go to college?
I believe that was the U, was it not?
The U.
Yeah.
The U.
He was.
There was a lot of stuff being swept under the rug.
Well, just ask old third leg Greg Olson with the 7th floor crew at the U back then.
Oh yeah.
No, I just think I threw Warren's name out there because I think it's a year where the Cowboys are going to potentially do something we don't actually see coming.
Genty.
Like a trade up for Genty. That's okay. So the things that Jerry wants to do.
I'll take a 3-1 on that odds.
A trade up for Genty. Yeah. Jerry, that would be a Jerry move. It's a massive overpay to try to trade up for.
What do you think you have to trade up to get him at? 5, 6?
5. Yeah, 5. Okay. I don't think. I mean, that's 5 is Jacksonville, right? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they got ETN and they got the new kid.
Yeah, but I think if you didn't go to 5, I don't think the Raiders at 6 would do the trade with you because I think the Raiders would take him, no question. So you'd have to get to 5 to get the deal done.
I think the Raiders are going to do the smart thing and probably go line because they know what they have in Brock Bowers. They want to get another receiver. I think they're going to want passing over running. So you got to look what team wants a running game versus a passing game.
Also, their GM's been out talking about how they need to shore up the defensive unit. How they feel good about the Geno Bowers combo.
And you got Tom Brady whispering in their ear, being like, "Don't be idiots."
I think you still got UTSA legend Sincere McCormick technically on that roster too at running back. But going back to it, the moves that the Jerry moves.
Yeah.
A trade up, like you're saying, for Genty, potentially taking one of the two tight end or one of the two wide receivers, either Golden or McMillan, or the tight end if he's there, Penn State, because all of those guys are people that immediately Cowboys fans remember from college football season last year and will want to buy that jersey. Do those moves make them a better team as opposed to drafting Barron or one of the defensive linemen if they fall? I think that's the smarter
makes
move.
Sense. To me, with the tight end, you're going to have to make Schoonamaker. Jerry's going to have to admit an L, which
it usually takes him a while.
It ain't going to happen.
It usually takes until that actual rookie deal expires before Jerry will admit anything. That he did anything wrong.
I agree with you, Dallas lawyer. Jerry will make a stupid pick.
Yep. And again, that's why you mentioned Zach Martin retiring. We can only hope that Will McClay and Steven can tackle Jerry like they did that year to prevent him from drafting Johnny Football.
Oh yeah,
which is how they end up getting Zach Martin.
They drugged
instead.
His coffee. They put a little NyQuil in his coffee. He was a little like, "What round is it? Don't worry, we already picked for you."
No, it's okay, Grandpa. Go back to the yacht. Go back to the Bravo Eugenia.
Did we get Johnny?
Do you thinking about just the bigger storyline of the first round of the draft? You mentioned it earlier. You think Shedeur is a top 5 pick, or someone ends up trading up?
I think he's a giant.
Okay, so just going off of, let's do a little hypothetical.
Okay.
We know Cam Ward to the Titans at 1 is a lock.
It's a lock.
They're not trading that. They're drafting Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns at 2.
Oh, they're gonna Brown.
It feels they're going to have their choice of Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. They just re-signed Myles Garrett to the massive deal.
Ooh,
Travis Hunter,
Abdul Carter, and Myles Garrett on
that'd
each side.
That'd be nasty.
That'd be nasty defense, and that's Cleveland's style right there.
Yep,
pound it down your throat.
And Abdul Carter, kid from the region. The Rust Belt up there, going to Cleveland from Penn State.
I believe they go that way. I don't think they go. I don't think they go Travis.
So then Travis Hunter is available at 3.
Yeah.
If you're the Giants, you're not passing on the opportunity of drafting Travis Hunter
for a franchise quarterback.
For someone that potentially could be a franchise quarterback. It's no one like you're not feeling. People don't feel
Travis Hunter feels like a Jets pick.
People don't. That might be the best pick the Jets have made in years, if that's the case. It doesn't feel like when you say franchise quarterback, and we talk about some of these most recent drafts, I don't think the average NFL fan or the NFL media or the experts, heavy quotations, I don't think any of them feel as good about Shedeur Sanders as they did C.J. Stroud. Thinking back to some of the quarterbacks, some of the second-picked quarterbacks in the most recent drafts.
But I think with the
Shedeur is a guy that
I think with the success
is going to be the second pick
Jayden Daniels.
Because by default.
He reminds me of Jayden Daniels. The only reason why he's getting so much negativity is because his dad is Dion. And we got to call a spade. If he didn't have the Sanders name on it, he would be Jayden Daniels. He would be. Yeah. He would be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Colorado got all the hype, all the TV time, all that kind of good stuff. But he had the numbers. He can run. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the showmanship for New York. I don't see them passing up on Shedeur for Travis Hunter, which is he going to be a quarterback or a wide receiver? Or are we going to play him both?
I think you're playing him both, mainly as a defender, but with offensive packages.
Because they like the drama.
Well, you mentioned the Jets. I don't think he would hang around. I mean, in this scenario,
what pick are they?
There's 7. But in this scenario, if you had Shedeur, the Giants swinging on Shedeur at 3, there's no chance Travis Hunter goes past 4 to the Patriots.
Oh, no.
Which is funny again, too, because the Patriots should have had the number 1 pick in this draft. But
then Drake May.
they didn't. Well, and they didn't fire Mayo, let him coach the last game of the season.
And he stuck it.
And they went out there and won it just like Lovie Smith did with the Texans. But again,
yes,
that's why the Texans got C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young.
Exactly.
So sometimes, if in this scenario,
that second quarterback always.
If you're a Patriots fan,
yeah,
and somehow you ended up with Travis Hunter at the 4 spot, you're praising Mayo. You're so happy.
That's why I'm thinking there's going to be moves because. You're going to have, I believe, Cleveland goes with the defensive end. These allergies are killing me too, man. Cleveland's going with the defensive end, and then Shedeur's going with Dallas, and then you're going to have a melee of calls. Because everybody wants Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that's when the trades start getting crazy.
And I think they're willing to give up 2 first rounds for it, back down on 1, give up a first round for the next one. Just for the name alone, to want that Jerry move, and then all of a sudden, once Travis Hunter's off the board, there's probably going to be an offensive tackle. That's why I think Genty is going to be around a 6 or a 7 for me. And that's when we get the Jerry move.
Yeah, because the tackle coming in
because Jerry does want some glory hole.
The kid from LSU has got to go somewhere in this group, basically from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Because rarely in NFL drafts does a foundational offensive tackle not go in the top 10. Like I can't think of the last draft where there wasn't
because that's where I think
that's the second most important position in sport. I can see the Patriots. Maybe 3rd.
I can see the Patriots moving down a spot or 2 to get the offensive tackle.
Yeah, to take Will Campbell from LSU.
Because that's a Patriot move.
And then you pick up some assets a little later on in the draft. Yeah, I think just the amount of, the Shedeur is the biggest piece, I think, in all of it. Because if a team falls in love with him and takes him in the top 5 or even the top 10, someone's going to be available at 11 and 12 that you wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
And that's
why I think a lot of because it's so deep on tackles, defensive, offensive, edge. Like there's going to be some gold like down there at there's going to be some goal for us Niners down there at 11 unless we have to move up 1 or 2 spots. Or if there's so many crazy moves, we can move back a spot and get a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, see, that's where I think the Cowboys are probably going to sniff around at trading up. But if you ask me what was more likely, them trading up or them trading back, I bet it's a trade back.
Yeah.
Because think about it this way. I mean, CD was what, a 16th overall, 18th, somewhere mid-teens.
I thought he was a top 10.
No, 17th. I was 17th. Right. I was on both sides of it.
Who was the number 1 pick? Who was the number? Yeah, I remember that because that was COVID.
That's exactly what. And it was when he stole the phone, his burner phone from his girlfriend.
You better give me that phone.
So I bring that up just to say, in that draft, when CD was available at 17, I felt so much better about the Cowboys taking him than I would them taking either of the receivers at 12.
Yeah.
But if they trade back, and then one of those receivers is available there at 17 or 18 after they trade back, I'm back interested in the wide receiver. Now, granted, I think that would lead to the bigger conversation in 5 years of let's compare what was available there at 12 that you traded back out of versus whatever wide receiver or whoever you take with that pick that you trade back for. But it feels like that if you were asking me to put money on what I would expect the Cowboys to do, I don't think they pick at 12. I think there's a chance they move up, but I think the better chance is they move back.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting one because I think we're going to get a Jerry move this year.
Again, it feels we're overdue. We are overdue. We're long overdue. You have anything else on the NFL draft? Anything else jumping out? You mentioned the quarterbacks. That was the only other note I had.
Yeah,
it is a weak,
not a deep
weak
quarterback
year for quarterbacks.
Yeah, basically it's the 3 quarterbacks: Ward,
it's not
Shador, Dart.
How much faith do you have in Jackson Dart?
I got a 2nd or 3rd rounder in him.
Right, and he's going to end up going 1st round.
But then you got
probably
someone
in the
like
late
Lamar
20s.
Jackson, who was about to go, to the 2nd round until Baltimore picked him up. And what was it? The old I saw a meme. Old Larry David called a huge Jets fan.
Oh yeah, you sent me this.
Called the Jets and said, "You better pick up Lamar Jackson. You should have listened to the great Larry David."
As is usually the case. One thing on the quarterbacks, we mentioned talking about how bad of a class it is. It's kind of crazy to me with all of the hype he had in high school. He had the best recruiting grade, tied with Vince Young and Andrew Luck in Rivals grading services. Quinn Ewers is an afterthought in this draft
because he gets hurt. He's always hurt.
I think it's that, and
I hate his throwing style.
Yeah, and the lack of mobility. It didn't look like he was. It didn't look like his.
He's a backup.
See, and
I can see him being career backup.
And he's probably going to be the 6th quarterback taken.
Yeah, I think that's
he's probably your guy right after all the ones we listed.
I think they got him all the way down to 8 right now.
At that point, you're getting into like him, Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, maybe the Ohio State kid,
but you can always
Kansas
find
State
gold.
transfer Howard.
Sweet undersized Brock Nathaniel Purdy. I do not quote me on that middle name, but
yeah, let's just run with it. It fits. If I asked you, who do you have more faith in being the best quarterback in this class, Cam Ward or anybody else? I'll give you the field. Every other quarterback that's drafted this week or Cam Ward.
I think Cam Ward has the best shot of becoming the better quarterback over time, but he's going to have a Bryce Young experience because they do not have anything.
Oh, the Titans. No, it's an empty cupboard.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have anything. So he's going to be hamstrung. And then you got Shador going, I'm calling it to the Giants. Got Malik Neighbors. One of the great, that guy's
weapon.
A stud.
Yeah.
Stud. And then, the running game, he can create the running game because they can just do an option like they do with Lamar and Jaden. Just do the option, and the running back's going to get some holes. And they could pick up, like, what's old buddy out of Arizona State? What's his name?
Oh, Scatterbug.
Scatterbug.
Yeah.
They go pick him up.
Look,
they go pick him up in the second round.
This is not me falling in love with the great White Hope running back. This is not
Peyton
it at
Hillis.
all. Peyton Hillis almost died on us a couple of years ago.
I remember that.
He survived, thank goodness. But I kind of think Scatterbug might be good. I kind of think, like, he measured out well.
Yeah, he's got hands.
Yeah, I think
you can tell he's got heart after that playoff game, man.
Yeah, I think if you told me the Cowboys took him in the fourth,
man, they're not going to take another little, because they took Deuce Vaughn. They would catch so much.
Oh, Scatterbug, he's so much bigger. Deuce Vaughn is like someone Deuce Vaughn's like someone Mike Leach wanted to throw over the line.
Oh God. Oh man.
If you're asking me, I would take the field. I think Cam Ward isn't enough of a no question 1-1 that it honestly I could see. This could be a draft like the Dak draft. This could be one where Dylan Gabriel goes in the 4th round and he's the best quarterback in the class.
Because the starter gets hurt, they throw him in, and they don't have film tape on him yet.
And there's exactly. Because Gabriel can spin it. Someone like that, or I don't think it's gonna be Quinn, but someone like that, someone who ends up one of these guys that ends up getting taken in the 3rd or 4th round, end up being the best quarterback in the class. Probably more because of fit and where they ended up versus actual skill. Well, we are running up against it. We're already 20 minutes into the Stars game. I let the record show don't run a score in the chat. I haven't
I'll give you $5 to do it.
I've been fighting buy us a coffee and give me the Stars score. LG, what's that website again?
That would be buymeacoffee.com/sportscavelive.
There it is. Do you have the lightning round? Do we have a sounder? Or
do we have any graphics, or am I just gonna have to go?
Or
you're just gonna have to.
Okay, we can do our own intermissions. That's a good one to start with. We'll close it out with some quick hitters here.
WrestleMania. There you go. WrestleMania. John Cena won. He tried to get
what is happening right now?
Dusty Rhodes. What, me talking about WrestleMania?
Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes? I don't know.
I couldn't tell if you were.
I did watch it. I did watch it.
Okay, that was my first question. Did anyone under this roof watch WrestleMania this weekend?
I watched it because I was bored as hell. But
are we talking? You watched all weekend?
I fast forward through it. I saw, what was it? The tribal leader, the manager, basically turned on everybody and let old buddy win. See, I don't know any names. I tried to get my buddy Sean to give me a rundown sheet on the cheat sheet.
What happened?
I'm like, I don't remember any of the names. But Cody Rhodes, he had a chance to be the villain, and then all the drama, and then, of course, John Cena kicks him in the crotch again, and then, boom, Cena wins his 18th world title, which eclipsed the great Ric Flair.
Look, I loved Degeneration X.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah, that was my jam.
Loved Stone Cold catching beers and chugging them. I loved it all.
You almost took out some fans.
I didn't watch a second of this weekend, but I did see Stone Cold. I see the lady like completely acting like she had been wiped out by his 4-wheeler. I saw that.
Dude, he was having so much fun driving that 4-wheeler around. He drove around the ring like 8 times.
As he should. He's
with the biggest
cold
smile on his face. It's just
the way LG, did you watch any of it?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, there we go. The way I saw any of it was my social media feeds were pretty much 50-50 split of half the people being like, oh my God, this is awesome. And the other 50% being like, I can't believe people still watch this in 2025.
Yeah.
So for the cultural.
Cody Rhodes lost. And
Stone
John Cena
Cold
won.
wrecked the 4-wheeler.
Hit me with the lightning.
Give us that interstitial.
All right, next one.
Should we talk Mike Leach real quick?
Mike Leach.
Are we sure? Has this
I
been
don't know
confirmed?
I mean, I saw it on the internet, so it's got to be true.
Okay,
right?
we'll go with that until we get sued.
Yeah.
One of the best headlines I read all of last week was, I don't even know where it started or who threw it out there.
I just saw it on my Facebook
Someone
feed.
suggested that Mike Leach once wanted to get a little person on the football team
and throw them over for the 1 yard
and then use them at the goal line to just chunk them over the offensive line.
And he had to be talked down from it. Like, literally, he probably wrote that up, thought it was like, I'm the mad genius.
Yeah, I'm cooking here. Any other coach in America, I would immediately say
BS.
There's no chance that happened.
But Mike Leach?
The genius and greatness that was Mike Leach.
Imagine locking the little person in the tool.
in the equipment like he did Craig James's son.
We couldn't find him after a while.
Any other coach, I wouldn't have. This sounds like something they did back in like 1920s baseball, where you just found the shortest person you could and they hit leadoff.
So you can throw Deuce Vaughn over the pile
exactly.
to combat the tush push. Come here.
Or the late, great Larry Lacewell, as Jerry once affectionately referred to as a midget.
All right, hit me with the lightning. Next one. What we got?
Mentioned, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. You mentioned the Nico Harrison press conference. So they do the behind closed doors, invite only roundtable, as they called it. And that went over about as well as a turd in a punch bowl. And so then today they do an actual live press conference for the cameras, open to all DFW media. And let me remind you, it's the first open press conference Nico has done since the trade.
Didn't realize Luka was so famous in Dallas.
The only one he did, they were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Which ironically has the largest Slovenian population in America. And they were in Cleveland where Luka gets massive crowds. So that's where he did his only press conference.
Said he threw his phone when he heard the news.
Yeah, and Luka did the interview with Malika Andrews. The Nico thing.
He's like, I got to pay all those taxes in California now. Shit.
All of the headlines coming out of it, like one of the reporters asked him, when you hear crowds chanting "Fire Nico," one, how does that feel? And two, why should they not fire you? And his response, with no sense of irony or self-retrospection or anything, it was, well, I feel like I'm doing a good job, so why would they fire me? And then when asked about, did you misjudge how important Luka was to the Mavs fan base and to the city of Dallas? And he said,
that was the only truthful answer he gave.
He said that was the one time, which is that's a fireable offense of the previous dozen fireable offenses.
The president had to sign off on it. You know what I'm saying? So he got mad, like, negotiating skills, but
the whole thing is sour for years now. I mean, for the rest of the Western Conference, enjoy the Mavs becoming irrelevant in 2 or 3 years, because that's where it's headed. Give me a sounder, LG. So first of all, condolences to the Pope and Catholics everywhere.
Yes.
A man of faith.
Second of all,
he wasn't a fan of. I ain't gonna go there.
Second of all, whoever JD Vance meets with next, just be prepared.
Yeah, don't touch the trophy.
It was the Ohio State football team where he broke the college football championship trophy. Then he meets with the Pope, and hours later, the guy's dead.
It's murder.
He's got the black hand of death.
They say death comes in threes. So all I'm saying is, if you have a meeting lined up with our VP, watch out, be careful. Sounder, LG. Another one, not death, thank God, but Pop had another medical emergency, fainting at Roost Chris.
Oh, man. I hope, like, they said everything was all right, but I do not see him coaching next year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the concern, first and foremost, is the health.
Yeah, of
and a very distant second is, what do the Spurs do now? Because, retirement is pending. It has to be. It just has to be.
He loves, his wife, she passed. I mean, I get it. He's a very foodie. He loves to go out and drink a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, he's always out in Southtown. I mean, we've seen him multiple times
being
just
around
sitting
the
at the bar eating dinner.
He doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to stop moving and like getting in.
Can I interest you in a front office role?
Yeah.
Can I interest you in just doing the president of basketball operations side of your job?
Yeah.
Just be hand in hand. Show Brian Wright.
Can Pop do
teach
that?
Brian Wright the ways of the force.
Bring in Becky Hammond.
Well, let's not get crazy. There are multiple names that I would jump to before that that actually have NBA coaching experience that some should still be. I mean, as a head coach.
Okay.
Okay, we're not going down the list here.
Not going there.
But I think that Pop's not going to do. He's not going to sign the 1-day contract to retire. He's not going to coach one game next year and then retire. I think
that farewell ceremony that they do is about to go as fast as Tim Duncan's.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
We got a short 10 here. Let's wrap it up.
Again, the one thing I will say though is I hate seeing that news being broke. So it happened on a Tuesday. And then we get the Friday news dump from TMZ,
and it's
the most trusted
Pop.
source in news, that it's Pop. Yeah. So for 3 days, people in the city knew that happened.
Yeah.
And obviously didn't disclose it for
out of respect
or out of fear
TMZ
from
does
the
not
organization.
have any respect.
Yeah.
How can you?
There's a balance.
You were respected with me.
There's definitely a balance. I just hate seeing our news first being reported by TMZ. That's
our small town feeling
never
here.
what's exactly. Give me a sounder, LG. Couple more before we get out of here. Either of you boys tuned into the F1 season this year, Formula One?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't figure. I figured you probably watched more wrestling this weekend than Formula One.
It's the only wrestling I'm going to watch all year.
So give me 30 seconds to convince you that you should check it out.
All right.
It's the first year in a decade where every weekend you don't know who the winner is going to be. All of the car, there's not a dominant car. There's not a dominant driver.
A year ever where I thought I knew the winner is going to be. So yes, no, you did not convince me.
You could usually.
I don't know who the winner is going to be at all. I don't even know who's driving besides Danica Patrick.
No, there's not Danica.
Yeah,
it's not IndyCar.
That's the only person, or the old movies.
It's not Tony Stewart at the dirt track. You could have said it in the past. It was either Verstappen for a few years, it was Hamilton for a few years, or even Vettel before that. But this year,
I can't believe that
you had Piastri win over the weekend. He wins in Jeddah.
Wow,
it's a wide open competition.
Who's got the points?
Guys driving 200 miles an hour and doing 23, 24
Unless
turns
I get the
on
keys,
a track.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, that's fair. Sounder, one more and we'll get out of here. Lastly, this lightning round has been heavy on health updates. Shout out to my good buddy and a guy that a lot of y'all listening have spent a lot of time and money at his establishments here in town. Good buddy Aaron Pena, owner of Amor Eterno, former owner of the Squeeze Box before the city absolutely screwed over the business owners on the Strip and tried to just didn't do a whole lot to help them as they did a lot of construction over there. Also, owner there in Southtown, he's got the bar that was just named Bar of the Year, actually.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I'm completely blanking. So this is one of those deals where he's a bigger man than I am because he announced to the world a couple days ago, and I've talked to him since then, he's fighting testicular cancer, or as I couthly referred to it in a text message, nut cancer. And then I realized quickly, I probably should have worded that better. I probably should have should have taken the
we walk a 5K for that, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
We walk a 5K for our nut cancer.
Yeah, he good news
where's our ribbon?
All so far.
Where's our month?
Has gone through.
Is it only our prostates? We have testicles.
I think
there's two parts to it.
I think we get
check your nuts, gentlemen.
Yeah, I would say
roll it around in your hand.
I don't know what the
right after a hot shower, I've heard.
Actual like screening process is, but
you roll it around your hand. You see if you got a bump, go let somebody else.
Oh, you're not doing a
nuts.
Bit.
No, this is what you do.
Well, here's your health advice
after
for the
a hot
night.
shower. Your nuts are hanging. You know, they're not tucked up for warmth because they are very warm from a hot shower. They're dangling on you. And you're supposed to just roll it around in your hand like this. And if you feel like a lump, especially if it hurts, go get it checked out. Let somebody else feel them.
Yeah, as unfun as that sounds,
that's
like,
a PSA, baby.
That is a PSA. And really, again, shout out Aaron. Keep fighting the hell out of that thing.
Hey, man, you got it.
Fuck cancer. That should do it for us tonight, though. Headed, as I've been saying, headed to watch Game 2. If anybody wants to join, I believe
they're down by 4 already?
Oh, hey, all right. Get us out of here. The full shows this week. We're back. LG, get us out. I got to go watch hockey.
Kids, what do we say about drugs?